Hey UK Bills Mafia, this is Christian Wade of your Buffalo Bills. This is the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast with your hosts, Matt and Alex. Let's go Buffalo! Woo!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, UK Bills podcast, Bills news with a UK twist. Now it's week 2, Matt here, Alex here, and we are now 2-0. 2-0.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Nice win
to
against
hear.
the Dolphins. Alex, how are you doing? How's your flight?
Fantastic to hear. Yeah, so 7-hour flight, 7-hour drive. Luckily, I was able to hotspot my laptop and watch the game while my wife drove again. God bless her. But Matt, I'm dying to talk about Josh Allen. Can we talk about Josh Allen for a minute?
Now let's talk about
Josh Allen.
Can we talk about
Josh Allen.
Please, Mac, I'm dying to talk about
Josh
with
Allen.
you all day, okay?
Let's talk about Josh Allen.
Okay.
Go for it. What do you want to get off your chest?
It's nothing that I want to get off my chest. I just want to praise that man. I will say my nightly prayers to that man. He leads the NFL in passing yards. We have a quarterback who leads the NFL in passing yards. We couldn't have a quarterback who could hit 300 yards, but now we have a quarterback who leads the NFL in passing yards. Third in passer rating, fifth in yards per pass attempt, and eighth in completion percentage.
Yeah.
In this game, I know we all know his stat line, but let's just say it because it's so good. 24-35, 417 yards, 4 touchdowns, 147 passer rating.
Yes.
The perfect passer rating is 158.3.
And I'll give you 3 names. I'll give you 4 names. I want you to connect them. Brady, Mahomes, Manning, Allen.
Yeah, I saw that stat. It's like the only quarterback in NFL history to have like this stat line through 2 games without any interceptions or something like that, right?
700 plus yards, 6 plus touchdowns, and no interceptions in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Allen's also the first guy since Bledsoe in October 2002 to pass for over 400 yards. Bledsoe did it before in September 2002. September 92 he's the first Bill quarterback to do it, throw for 400 yards on 40 or fewer attempts, done by Jim Kelly. And October 1983, going back, he's the first quarterback since then to throw for 400 plus yards, have 4 or more touchdowns since Joe Ferguson.
Yeah, this is better than I think any of us would have hoped for at this point. I think this year obviously was the year where we all said Josh Allen needs to prove it. And through 2 games, he's proven it. My favorite pass was his throw to Beasley in the 4th quarter. He just took a sack. It's 2nd and 24, and just a beautiful touch pass. He waited for Beasley to get open, threw it over the linebacker, gave Beasley room to run. And he picked up 23 yards on it.
Yeah.
Seeing the touch that he's had earlier in that drive to get them into Miami territory, he threw the ball, a 50-50 ball to Diggs, and Diggs is he's really good at footballing.
Yeah.
It's been such a delight to see him play.
He's what we've missed. We've missed that as a number one. No disrespect to John Brown last year. Mm-hmm. He was actually excellent number one.
Yeah.
But this is what we've missed this year as a number one wide receiver since
for sure.
God knows when.
I mean, Brown isn't a guy who can get a 50-50 ball. And Diggs has routinely done that, and we've seen it. And same thing, continuing that last touchdown to Brown, which iced the game. He just missed on that same route the play before, and Dable was like, hey, it worked. Let's just do it again. And they connected on it, and it was a dagger. It was just.
I think it's just a case you can actually see now on those, he had what? How many? I don't know how many passes over 20 yards in that game, but his whole motions has just got ease. He just did a flick of the wrist, and it's gone 40 odd yards.
Absolutely. Yeah, where he's at in terms of like average yards per pass, net yards per pass attempt, and adjusted net yards per pass attempt, he's top 5 in all those categories. So we're talking about per throw minus like sack yardage and incompletions. His eyes are down the field. We're not checking down. I mean, even Mr. Checkdown Beasley is getting 20-yard catches.
Yep.
This passing offense is legit. Now, I don't think many of you watch the Sabres, but what I've learned from Buffalo sports is don't crown anybody too early. And I hate to bring this kind of negative attitude to this show because this is a Josh Allen praise podcast.
Yeah.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's 2-0. How many times has any Bills team looked good and then kind of faltered? This seems different. This feels different. Everything about this is different because these are big name guys who you can trust, who don't. It doesn't feel like a fluke. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
This feels like it's legit. So
I think
when we play the tougher teams like the Rams this coming week, if we can do it again, then I think the hype train is going to be literally unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, I've just found the stat. He had of throws of 20 plus yards yesterday. He had 8 attempts, 7 completions, 246 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've been wanting. I mean, we've been living with Trent Edwards type quarterbacks for how long, and now we got a guy who's just, you know what? Let's just chuck it. I got the arm. We got the receivers. We got the offensive coordinator who can give our guys space, and it's just working. There's really no other way to say it. It's fantastic.
No, exactly. I think it's. I think, but then you know what? You're still going to get PFF come up and say, "Oh, it was a
Have they
fluke.
yet,
It was only
though?
the Dolphins."
I mean, have they?
Not yet. They haven't.
Yeah.
Not yet. They haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, I mean,
you can see it coming.
What you have to see from these people is that they praised Cam Newton's first game against Miami,
Yeah.
and for no reason. I mean, if people think that they're gonna dump on Allen, but he just blew Newton's stat line against Miami out of the water. It's just there's really nothing to nitpick on Josh Allen this game. He didn't have a miss to Brown like he did last week. There was nothing like that.
So let's go on to then. So
well, just the offense as the whole. I mean, talking about that pass to Beasley, before that was the amazing pass to Brown, was to Diggs. So we're up. We got the touchdown to get the lead. Now we have our ice the game drive, right? And that's usually where on 3rd and 9, the pass to Brown, run the ball, punt, play defense. That's what we're used to, right? But I don't know if it was Allen's decision or if it was the play call to go for it and just take that dagger throw. But it was just to have an offensive coordinator who says, all right, let's just go for it. If they have a quarterback who's like, you know what, let's not be conservative. Let's just, put the nail in the coffin. We haven't had an offense like this since Kelly. I mean, even Bledsoe had days where he would throw. I mean, so 2003, we blow out New England. We own Jacksonville. 3rd game, we play against the Jay Fiedler Dolphins, and Bledsoe throws for 95 yards. I don't think Allen's gonna have a dud like that this year.
No.
I don't know. It's just so hard to be this confident and talk about how great the rest of the year is going to be when we know that Buffalo's probably going to Buffalo, and there's going to be some games where it's just like, what happened? But I just don't feel like that's going to happen this year.
No, I mean, Bill, this offense in the first 2 games of the season, it's the 3rd time this has ever happened. Put up over Bills have put up 524 yards, marking the 3rd time in history that they opened the first 2 weeks with 400 plus yards in consecutive games. In 1981 was the first one, and 1991 was the second one.
Yeah, and like I said, like we haven't had an offense like that since '91, and here it is.
I mean, you got to give credit to the wide receivers. I mean, that touchdown catch by Gabe Davis.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God. I mean,
that was amazing. Even I thought when I saw it again, I thought, shit, that's going to be overturned.
But there was no definitive evidence, which is just fantastic. You look at the depth that we have at wide receiver, and you think if two of them go down, we should still be all right because we have your favorite Bill, Reggie Gillum, catching touchdowns as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm right also with my hot take I did. I said at least one Bill is going to get over 100 yards receiving. Obviously, Stephon Diggs with his 153.
Yep.
An interesting stat I found, and it was I think it was Greg Tomset that actually posted it, that prediction-wise for the season, Diggs would have 128 catches for 1,912 yards. Brown would have 80 catches for 1,216 yards, and Cole Beasley would have 72 catches for 1,027 yards. That's if they're going on the basis of these first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I imagine if there is any, it's a very short list of teams that had 3 1,000-yard receivers on a team in one season. But, I mean, so last week I said that was the game, that this is the Josh Allen who to expect from last week. And I think this week is the Josh Allen ceiling game. When everything's clicking, we know that he's able to do this. And I think that we'll see this again at some point down the line. This is definitely, I mean, like last year we talked about how the 300-yard game was like the unobtainable thing, the thing that we needed to see. Josh Allen has arrived. And he's exceeded all expectations and delivered on exactly what we're asking for. And
I think he can put to bed that no matter how many 300 games he actually gets this season or doesn't get, I think these 2 weeks and have really put to bed really anything that says Josh Allen every week has to get a 300 plus passing game.
No, that's impossible to ask for. No quarterback does that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that stigma is actually now come away from Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Now we know that he can throw for 300, 400 yards. So they can take that stigma out and just say, look, if we can get a really good game passing and running, we don't need the 300 game every week to actually to win.
I think if he doesn't throw for 300 yards for the rest of the season, it won't be brought up. I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, in the first 2 weeks he was amazing, and then, he kept throwing for only 250 yards.
Yeah.
Look at the stat sheets for teams that won football games this week. A lot of them were between 250 and 280. That's what you need to win a football game. 250, 280, 2 touchdowns. That's what you want.
And have a bigger lead than the Falcons did against the Cowboys.
Yeah, oh my God. That onside kick where they're just staring at the ball. I mean, you're allowed to touch the ball. As the receiving team, you're allowed to touch the ball at any point. It's only the kicking team who can't touch it before the 40. And they just look confused. I mean, that comes down to coaching. Someone should get fired. But let's keep talking about the Bills.
Yes.
The last positive I want to talk to about the game is the run defense. More not just because I'm happy with what the Bills did. It's because I wanted to show you that, hey, these guys weren't anything to worry about. We talked in our preview show that you were like, oh, Howard and Breda, they're going to be something. And I don't think that's what Miami has this year. Their offensive line. Sorry, go ahead.
Bring up the stat line. What was the stat line for their
They had, as a team, they had 22 carries for 99 yards and the 1-yard touchdown, which wasn't anything to, stand out. So the stat line doesn't look bad, but as a team, we kept them under 100 yards. And this was a game that was close, where there was, 22 carries for a team. You want that to be in the 30 range. We only had 23 carries for I think
Yeah.
113 yards as a team. But these were two teams that were attacking secondaries that were vulnerable. And I think that leads us to our next segment, which is the bad, our pass defense.
Yeah. I think, well, one positive to go with the bad, if that makes any sense.
Not to me, but not to but you. Let me see where you're going with this.
I'm talking about obviously initially the linebackers. Obviously, no Edmunds, no Milano. We saw how Giuseppe actually really dominated
Up, yeah.
the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to turn around and put a positive in there of Ty Dodson. He's come in first start. He was all over that field. He's actually played lights out in the games he's actually played for us this season. So I think that's a good. He's been coached well. He's actually listened obviously to Lorenzo, Tremaine. He's had Sean McDermott in his ear all the time. Leslie Frazier. He's been coached right, and that's probably the positive you're going to get out of it. So yes, he's a rookie. He was part of the linebacker core. Yesterday was a bit iffy, but that was the one positive that I really saw from that. And have him, Milano, and Edmunds as your three linebackers. When Edmunds and Milano are fit, you've got a really solid young linebacker core that could go for a good couple of years or so.
I mean, one thing that the thing that needs to get worked on though is play action defense. It's so hard because your instinct is you see the handoff and you attack. So that's how they that's how they attacked us this week, and it worked. And I think even if Edmunds and Milano are in, maybe Gesicki doesn't go for 130. Maybe he goes for 70 or 80. Yeah. And we lost Matt. I don't know if I should keep talking or if I should.
Sorry.
And he's back.
Sorry, phone went off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking about how I don't think even if Edmunds and Milano were in, Gesicki might have still gashed us, because that would be Milano's assignment, and he's good against the tight ends. It's just that if we have one weakness, it's the play action defense, and so that it goes to show that the one thing that Miami has going for them is the Gailey Ryan Fitzpatrick connection, in Buffalo, in New York, and now in Miami.
I think
Criticism of Josh Allen real quick. I skipped over this. I don't want to nitpick, but it's a continuation of his running. Is that end of the second quarter? We're up 17-7. 50 seconds to go. It's 3rd down and 9, and he tucks it and runs, trucks a linebacker, and doesn't pick up the first down. What do you want to see there? Because we could be going for it could be a put away drive. There's time left, but it's week 2. You're up. I think this is situational football. Matt's gone again. Where I don't want to see Josh Allen taking that hit. Do you want to see Josh Allen taking that hit with the lead in week 2?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean,
Good
yes. Okay, yeah. Obviously, no. I don't want him to take that hit, but I mean, obviously, no. Even I can't defend that. At least that play itself. That's one thing I can't really defend as much. Obviously, he wants to try and get as close to the field goal. I think they're pushing for a field goal attempt.
Yeah,
at that point.
I love that he's a gamer and tries to go for it. It's tough because you want to coach a guy to understand the situation. You don't want to take away his drive, his gameness, his passion, his killer instinct. You don't want to coach that out of him. But at the same time, you really need restraint when you're up by 10 it's the end of the second quarter. Miami did get the ball to start the second half, so maybe that's why we wanted to get points there. But other than that, that's my only criticism, Josh Allen. The
Yeah.
rest of the criticisms continue to stay on the defense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Levi Wallace real quick, who was attacked often this week.
Yeah. No, it is a case that he is actually he is a bit he's becoming more skeptical. Yeah, skeptical. I don't know what
Susceptible.
it is. That's the one to his plays now. And it's really getting to a point now where you've got to hope that Josh Norman gets back quickly. So, I mean, we're going up against
That's
the
so
Rams
weird to
next week.
hear.
Yeah, we got the Rams next week. It's going to be hard.
Woods,
They've got Cup, Cooks. Have they
Nope.
still got Brandon Cooks?
Brandon
No.
Cooks is in Houston or something. I don't know. He keeps
Okay, so
out.
they've got
Woods, Cup, and their
Woods.
tight end Higbee.
Yeah, so they've got those there, and it's really going to be causing an issue.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe this is see another wide receiver, another cornerback come in as free agent, or they give Cam Lewis that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But it is really a concern, and I've even started scouting cornerbacks for next year because I won the first 2 rounds. I think the Bills have to go a cornerback in the draft on there because you can't have just Trey on an island, them not throwing, and then all the passes going through Levi Wallace. Credit to him, his first couple of years, he was good. He actually he played well for an undrafted guy, but either they started targeting more, he's rescinded a little bit. I don't know, but it is that other side that's now worrying for it. So
it's definitely showing that he's not a number 2 corner in the league. Where once we play against like Kansas City and stuff like that, it could be another shootout situation.
Yeah,
I want to see us go out and get a guy now. The way this team is, the way this roster is built, and the hype that we have for this season. Do what Pittsburgh did last year and go get Minkah Fitzpatrick. If you can use a first-round pick for a guy who's young, you're going to get 4 years out of, who's going to be legit. I don't care if we lose a first-round pick. You look at teams like New England, Seattle, good football teams who are constantly in the win column. They're able to convert first-round picks for players who can play now.
Yeah.
We don't need to build for the future anymore. We are in the now. Let's go get a guy.
Yeah, I mean they were interested in Prince Akamura. Now, that'll be a solid bet signing.
I'd say he's an upgrade over Levi Wallace, but he's definitely not a guy I would trade a first-round pick for.
Well, he's a free agent anyway.
Okay, yeah. So there's a reason why he's not on a team.
That's true.
I mean, if we chose Josh Norman over him, maybe that's just Beana McDermott loving Panther players a little too much. But I would say that right now, guys who are free agents for a reason, because especially with corner, that's a position of depth. And if he couldn't find his way as a third DB on someone's team, either his asking price is too high or just the talent isn't there. But let's focus on teams that have guys who, aren't looking to compete this year, teams who are trying to build through the draft. Let's go get a guy because
let's take out the Jags. Let's target the Jags and the Texans, and they seem to be giving away players willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, Bill O'Brien in Houston is just probably one of the worst GMs of all time. And it's just because you can't be a GM and coach. It's just silly.
Yeah, unless you're Belichick.
Power like that are guys that I wouldn't trust on my team.
Unless you're Bill Belichick, who apparently can do both, even though he's not technically the GM.
Right, but I mean, that he's in on all those calls. So with the third quarter woes again. Let's run through it. 2 possessions, only 1 first down, obviously 2 punts, 2 misses on 3rd and 2. This is where I would want the running game to be effective. Singletary and Moss had some good runs this game, but I would say 3rd and 2, give me a play action if you need to throw the ball. but also,
Yeah.
I talked down on RPO, but it's a situation for 3rd and 2. That's where that would work. A Josh Allen scramble on 3rd and 2 would work, even though I said let's not do it. It's really, it's one of those things where if it's only done twice, then I'm okay with it. You
Yeah.
know?
I think there's got to be something. Sean must be saying something in that dressing room that the first two quarters, they come out, play well. Okay, there's a bit of a slip in the second quarter, but not just this game. Last week against the Jets, other third quarter games, when they come out, they don't come out with that same intensity. You just want to be a fly in that dressing room at halftime, because they do that. They let the teams in, but luckily we've got fourth quarter Allen, and fourth quarter Bills to actually to save us. But we shouldn't be in that position where Josh needs to throw and needs to do those plays where we could just run the clock like other good teams do in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. If
So
I
we
want to
need-
be critical of the coaching, which I don't want to do because it's been fantastic, it's that halftime adjustments aren't on point. And that worries me because you don't want to get out coached to start the second half of a football game where momentum can absolutely shift.
Yeah.
And it's not that we've not come out not on fire. I just think that the game plan, the game script for the third quarter has been weak. We haven't been able to out adjust other teams.
Yes.
We go in the locker room, the other team makes their adjustments, we make our adjustments, and ours aren't good enough. And that is going to be possibly what holds us back. But obviously, once we now learn in the third quarter what the other team is doing, fourth quarter Bills make their adjustments then and are solid, which is great. But can we please have 4 quarters? Can we please have 4 quarters? Miami is a team that, credit to them, we shouldn't have allowed them back in the game.
No. But hey ho.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on.
The last thing to say about in the bad category is just the city of Miami and the state of Florida. Just, you're the worst. Just please, just stop being yourself. I mean, the power outage, the lightning, that happens almost every week for them. It's awful, and thank God we only have to go down there once this season.
Yes. So let's move on. Final section, the fan questions. What have you got for me today, Alex?
All right. So
what have you got for us?
We have Mark Robbins worried about the offensive line. What is going on at guard? Is this so they can see everyone before Feliciano returns? Does someone get traded or cut week 4 subject to fitness? So the situation here is that there was some movement because of Quentin Spain's, regression troubles, where we had Ford go to left guard and Winters come over to the right side. They were definitely trying things out because Spain was getting beat with speed. On that touchdown to Gabe Davis, Allen had to break a sack. So how do you feel about the offensive line?
I think I'm just going to put it down to probably a blip. It's that the O-line is what they only gave up one. Okay, Josh Allen escaping potential sacks. They only gave up one sack for about 4 or 5 yards or something like that. I'm not sure how deep it was. Maybe
it was
yards.
it was a bad one. It was the one where right before he hit Cole Beasley in the fourth quarter, he took a pretty bad sack. I think it was like for 6 or 7 yards.
To be honest, I'm not too worried about it. They've held up well. I think they've actually shown what they can do. I mean, are we now seeing the question you've got to ask yourself is, are we now seeing them use Cody Ford now exclusively as a guard?
Yeah, that was definitely something that they locked in on, but moving him to the left side was a little bit different for this game. For a few plays, he didn't play.
Let's say maybe they are changing it around, just seeing what they've got to try and counteract it. But I think with the Feliciano thing, I don't think there's going to be any anything with that. If they stick with the same O line, Feliciano will be there as your backup swing. So
I don't think
you
he
look,
backs up. I think when Feliciano is fit, he comes in and plays. Getting Daryl Williams to play at right tackle was probably a low key one of the best moves that they've done this season. And looking at what Spain has been weak on, Feliciano is strong on. So it's just getting Feliciano up to game ready status when he's healthy. But yeah, small worry about the offensive line, because that also leads into where's the running game been. And I know that it's fun to see Josh Allen chuck the ball, but at the same time, a balanced offense wins football games. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on, and something that hopefully doesn't something that we don't have to talk about next week.
yeah. Okay, shoot. Next question.
Dave Thorpe, great win aside from the third quarter wobble. P.S. Does Alex still think it's not a thing? I don't think it's a coincidence anymore. Like I said earlier about being out coached for second half adjustments. But he goes on to say the Rams have more weapons on offense than the Finns and Jets combined almost. Can Josh and the O keep pace with them if Edmunds and Milano are still out on D? The way Fitz abused Wallace, I'm worried.
I would say, and this is going to shock you, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not overly worried about it. Obviously,
Rams coming in 2-0.
Yeah, the key is going to be training practices this week. How much Edmunds and Milano actually progress and actually practice. If either one of those or both of them are out again, then you're potentially looking at a game where we are actually going to potentially lose. I mean, you've got to face Donald, Brockers. We've got one of the defensive ends. Who's their defensive end? They've got can't remember.
I'm not up on their team, but yeah, I mean, you have a team that just made the Super Bowl 2 years ago. You have a team who has a tight end who is legit in Higbee, who I think over the last 5 or 6 weeks last season put up 100 yards consecutively. So we know that we just got gashed by Gesicki, who's a first-round pick, but Higbee is a gamer, and that's a little bit worrisome. They like the jet sweeps. They move Woods around a lot. And that's where we're going to need Milano's speed. Hopefully he has it with the leg injury. So yeah, I understand the worry. I guess this is a situation of, if you want to focus on anything coming out of the Dolphins game, is that we can enter a shootout. Josh can break sacks. Donald is unbelievable. He's clearly the best defensive player in the game. But look at what our offensive did. Look at how our coaching staff will react to Gesicki's talent. Gesicki gashing us, and look for adjustments there. It's definitely going to be one of those closer games. I'd say we're at home, but that doesn't matter, So
no.
Miami, what Miami did to us is showing weakness in the armor of the Bills defense, and the Rams are the best team to come and exploit that if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, there are going to be question marks on the defense. I think the offense, they'll be able to handle it. I mean, I think Ramsey will try and lock down Diggs, but then you've got Brown, you've got Beasley, you've got Gabe Davis now coming in. So have they got another cornerback? I think they have. I've been watching Hard Knocks. They have another cornerback which looks all right, but he's not at a level of a Trey White, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
But have they got enough to cover all four of those?
Right.
4 of them.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll just have to
see.
watch.
We'll talk about that
practice.
in the Rams preview show.
Yes. Right.
Craig Lovesy. It's good to see the offense step up and win a game while the defense had a poor day. How concerned are you about the defense without Milano and Edmunds? I'm quite concerned. Hopefully they're back for next week's game. So it's kind of exactly what we just touched on. Edmunds and Milano do 2 very specific and very important things. Edmunds controls the defense, gets them ready, and he covers the middle of the field. Milano covers the tight end, and that's what hurt us this week, and it's what will be a worry for next week.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
definitely a little, I don't know. It's tough because you look at what the Bills defense was able to do last year, and that's on the back of coaching and then talent, I think. So I would
yeah,
expect them to be ready for the Rams. Um, I don't love Jared Goff. I don't care what anybody says. I don't love Jared Goff, and I hope that we'll be able to do something against them where we don't need to rely on Milano and Edmonds as much as.
no. I think that, let's say we've said it. There's a slight concern if Edmunds and Milano do either one of them misses out a little bit. There's a little bit of concern on the wide cornerback too, but it's just a wait and see during training. I think that's all we can do. Maybe come the preview show will be a different spot regarding it, but at the moment there is a slight concern, but nothing that really you want to hide behind the cushions.
Yeah, I trust the coaching. I trust the talent on the defense. I trust guys to step up. If it doesn't work out against the Rams, then I'll probably say I'm worried. Depending on the fitness of Milano and Edmonds, we'll see what they practice this week.
Yeah. So how many more
British
questions we got
Bills
left?
dog. Yep, British Bills dog. Backup linebackers just don't cut the mustard. CB2 is also an issue. Run game is a slight concern. However, we're 2-0. The Allen Diggs synergy is looking amazing already, and it's only going to improve. And also, Josh Mother Allen. So yeah, Josh Mother Allen indeed. It's been so hot to see. It's so refreshing to see an offense that can legit just chuck it consistently. But yeah, clearly the theme for Bills fans is linebacker depth and cornerback 2 issues. We're not going to repeat ourselves. We've basically answered this question all podcast.
The only thing I'll say is I'm not. I'll say I've said it. We're not behind Edmund and Milano. There's probably just the one other spot. I mean, Dodson is getting there. He's going to be that. He's going to be that reserve, a really, really good backup to actually to come in. And as I say, I've scouted a few cornerbacks for the draft. So yeah, I can kind of see where
we need them now, though.
Okay. I'll start scouting the free agency wire and see.
Yeah.
But I will admit there is a slight concern for it. Maybe they should have brought Corey Thompson back. Maybe they should have kept him or kept Joseph. But it's at the end of the day, you've got to trust the coaching. You've got to trust Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott because they know what they've got. They know how they can perform. It's just about putting the pieces in right and actually them and the players executing it really. I mean, the run game, as you said, we kept them under 100.
Yeah.
So I'm not too
concerned about the run game. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but no. I think it's going to be really important to see how we handle Week 3 against the Rams, and then we can really assess and analyze the depth that we have and what might need to happen.
Yeah. Is there any more?
Yep, we got 2 more. Honest Rugby account. Any update on injuries? We looked a little shaky down the middle in defense. So clearly a theme continuing here. Monday is the day off, so we probably won't get any practice news for Tuesday and Wednesday until then. Thursday's the big day to see game day decisions. So I'm pretty sure they held out Milano and Edmonds precautionary. If this were a playoff clinching game, if this was a playoff game, I think you probably see them in there.
Yeah, I think I say we've gone over it. The middle of the field. I think it's just going to be a one-off. I think if I'm just try not to repeat ourselves as I said.
Yeah,
it's
hold it is what it there. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it was last week or yesterday. Mm-hmm. It will be what it will be. come Thursday or
Because,
Saturday.
yeah, I mean, even if you bring in someone, they need to learn the playbook. They need to get comfortable. So even if we address linebacker depth and cornerback depth in free agency right now, it's still going to take a few weeks. So we're going to have to carry this same team into the next 2 or 3 weeks, and hopefully they step up. Last question, George Jeffries. Credit where it's due. I think Miami called a good game for Fitz. That said, should we be concerned about Levi Wallace? I think we're done.
Yes.
No.
Sure answer to that.
Concerned about
yes.
Levi Wallace? Yes and no. Again, we had a top 5 defense last year with him as a starter. So if we can get him right, then we'll be fine.
Yeah. I think there is legitimate concern there, as we've mentioned, whether we should be ripping our hair out, and judging by that hair, I think we could save to lose a bit.
What are you doing?
Bit of hair.
People watch this. Good Lord.
To say we actually do that, I mean, is nonsense. I think he is capable. He is a good player. I think he just needs that push. I mean, he's got Cam Lewis, he's got Dane Jackson really pushing him. They've not had that many games themselves on there. Maybe when Josh Norman comes back, that will elevate his game a little bit more. So that is, yes, there is concern, but there's also not concern as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ciaran Neal actually came in for a few plays at corner to spot Levi Wallace. So trust in the team that was the second best defense in the league last year. You know, and it's important to know that no team is top at every position. Every team has a weakness, even, you know, the Chiefs. So just hang in there and hope that they can get things corrected for the Rams.
Yeah. By the way, with this hair, I mean, I'm just going back over our last our recap of the Jets game.
Yeah.
We had a comment on there from John T. He said, "Is it just me, but is Josh with his new tash started to look a bit like Matt minus the beard?"
I could say things, but they're mean, so I won't.
Can I pass with Josh out?
Yeah. No.
No. To be honest, I could possibly see that.
All right. So here, do me a favor, Rams. So for the preview show, we don't do video. For the review show, we do video. Bring a stash only to the Rams post game if we win. How about that?
Okay. If
we win, stash only.
Okay. Right. Fair enough. Right. So that does it for another review show.
Hell of a
Alex,
win. Great job, boys.
That's the last thing you got to say, is it, Alex?
Oh my God.
You're gonna have the last word. That your last words? No,
my wife always says I have to have the last word. Yeah. Okay. You finish, please. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So keep subscribing to us, YouTube, Buffalo Bills UK. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe.
Do it.
Follow it.
We should probably beg people to do it at the beginning of the show. I don't think we probably have like a lot less viewers right now at the end of the show. If you're staying with us, please tell all your friends. Subscribe. UK Bills. Let's grow the Bills Mafia.
UK_Bills. Twitter.
Do it.
Follow. Press that follow button.
Do it.
RWBB_podcast. Hit that follow button. Search UK Bills on Instagram. Search Buffalo Bills UK on Facebook. Get involved. But if you like to see our smiley faces, like to see me look a bit like Josh Allen,
not even close,
then tune in to the videos and say download them, watch them anytime you want. Keep subscribing to the podcast. We love all the support. And for Alex, it's Matt, and we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for listening, and go Bills.
Go Bills.
Now let's go. Make a run. No more. Bills on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bills!